Okay, so in today's video I'm going to be answering all the commonly asked questions about the Caravan build. What did I use, sort of why did I do this process, everything in between, and we're going to do a price breakdown at the end of the video. Now stick around to the end also, I'm just going to do a wrap up of all the builds this year and what we've got coming for this van and other things, so definitely stay tuned until then. Now I cannot thank you guys enough for all the love on that video. It's done really well. I'm actually quite surprised how well it's done. And if you haven't seen this build, go through, check out that full video, and also check out all the individual videos because this thing's taken a lot of work to get to this point. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So the most commonly asked question was, why did I buy a Caravan and tear it all apart anyway? Well, I didn't actually buy it. I got given it for free. As you guys would have seen in the couple of starts of videos, this thing was at a mate's property. It had an annex all screwed to this side, so it was all rotted. The frame was all gone in it. He just said, come get it. Basically, it's going to go to the tip anyway. And me being me, I like to try and rebuild things and do things. That's why I didn't actually buy a Caravan pre-done with the $6,000. I decided just to, tackle this thing and see how far we can get with it. Next question, why didn't I buy a trailer and just build a pod basically on the top? Well, I don't know, I wanted to go for a nice look in case I ever go to sell this thing down the track. It doesn't look so homemade in that way. I think this really does look nice. I tried to follow basically what modern caravan builders and manufacturers use, so I think it's really good this way. Next question, why didn't I use aluminium framing for the whole entire frame of the van? Well, pretty much it was just easier for me to be able to weld and use like a MIG welder to use it. I didn't have to get special attachments or anything like that. To weld it all, and I don't actually know how to weld aluminium. I've never tried it, so that was probably the main reason why I used that. Now this framing that we use is only about 80 kilos heavier. I worked it all out than if I was to use the same thickness wall in aluminium, and a lot of caravan manufacturers only use like C-shaped stuff and they pot rivet it all together, so this is much stronger. That's just the way I chose. And the size tubing we used was 30 by 30 2mm wall. Now on the exterior, it was asked what was used, so I used 3mm aluminium composite panel. So pretty much it's a really thin layer of aluminium on either side and like a plastic in between. It's sort of resistant, heat resistant and stuff like that. It's a really good material. It's fairly lightweight. Now if I was to do it again, I would probably use the 2mm, and that would have worked better with the H molding. I'll show you that here after. And how did I bend this stuff and cut it? I just used a normal circular saw with a really cheap blade from Bunnings. It has to be a heap of teeth together. I don't know much about that stuff, but pretty much I think it was a diamond tip blade. It was just the cheapest one they had. To bend it like all the way around the top there, we just cut a heap of slits in the back of it, only really shallow. You have to be really careful. If you go too deep, it ends up marking it. Next question is, do I have to reweigh this thing once I fully kit it out? No, I don't believe so. When I spoke to the local roads department when I was registering this thing, I spoke to them multiple times on the go, but when we actually went in there to register it, they said bring us in a weighbridge certificate of what this thing weighs, like tear weight, and that was it. He said we don't care if this thing comes in fully gutted, if it's fully assembled, whatever. They don't care what you're doing with it. They just want a weighbridge docket as it sits on the thing. So he never said to come back or anything like that. So I will be doing that and updating the plate eventually, because that's just what you probably should do. Why go the longer A-frame? Does that make it harder to tow? Well, no, it actually makes it a lot easier. It brings the van away from the car, so it's not so close. I believe so anyway, and it makes it a lot easier to back because you can actually see it, and it's a bit further away from the car. And everyone sort of commented about that being, if you're going to get a Caravan, try and get a longer drawbar. And we can put a toolbox on the front here, so that's definitely helped. Next one, I kind of stuffed up and said in the last video, I can't believe it's the same van. I know it's not the same van. The old grandfather, the axe handle, has been used a lot in the comments, which I can't agree with more. It has got the original chassis, I can say that. It's definitely got the original chassis. So it's got the bones of it, that's what I keep saying. It's got all that there, and I mean, yeah, it pretty much is sort of the same van, but it's not. I get what you guys are saying. It's the same length and stuff, it's just been built out to the dimensions that the original Caravan was. So I didn't change things like that, I just basically built the ground up. But took it all the way down because it was just a lot easier in the end with all the framework that would need to, or timber work that would need to be done. We would have had to take everything off to replace the flooring anyway, because with these vans they use steel chassis, then they put the flooring down, then they put the frame on top. So the frame would have to come off to do the flooring because the flooring was all rotted. Now, just buy a van for the $6,000 that you spent. Well, yes, that would have been a lot easier. And probably time-wise and filming and content-wise, I probably should have done that and then just done a little bit of an upgrade to it. But I love to build things. This channel is about just building whatever. As you guys probably know, I do a lot of different stuff. I haven't really niched down like a lot of people do. It's pretty much anything with wheels I call my channel, really. So I love a good challenge, and I know every in and out of corner of this thing, and if anything breaks or anything happens, I know where it is. Worked on too many vans where there's just dodgy repairs, and you just have to basically pull everything down like that original van was and fix it anyway. So I'd rather just build it and just call it done. Okay, so what did I use and where's it all from? Now in the last video I did actually link it in the description, but I'll say it here all in the video. So steel frame wise and everything, that was all from a local mob. I got all that. I didn't buy it at Bunnings because it was much cheaper to get it straight from a steel place than you are off the shelf on somewhere like a Bunnings or whatever. Checker plate was off Marketplace. That was a bit of a dodgy deal. Just went down there and grabbed that. That was pretty good. Aluminium composite panel. Now this is 3mm stuff. I got all that from SAS Signage. You guys can get on their website and everything. They sell all different sorts of stuff, all different sorts of colours, and I believe they might have different thicknesses. I'm not sure. This is 3mm. I'm not sure if they've got thinner, but if you can get thinner, definitely do that if you're going to go the 3mm H mold. This was really difficult to get in. There was just no space with screws, so we had to like sand the back of it and everything. So that's a massive tip I'll give you guys if you're going to do it. Definitely go thinner composite panel. Now windows were from Australian RV and Caravan Accessories. They are a reseller of Ranger Caravan windows, which these actually are. Fantastic windows, a lot cheaper than your Eurovision and Dometic and stuff like that, but you know, they're really good fit and finish. I really like them. Now mouldings, that was another thing. Pro Bond is the place I got these from, so that's the H mold and the J rail. They sell that. They also sell the composite panel and checker plate now, so you can probably get all those from the same place. Flooring, that was just a local timber yard. That was 17mm plywood flooring, and I got the bitumen membrane from Bunnings. The door here behind me, that was a Facebook Marketplace find. Probably should have went and got a brand new one. It was a little bit cheaper than a brand new door, about $1,000 cheaper, but it has got a few scratches and things like that. All the lights you see on the outside, they were from Nava direct. I actually got those at a good price, so yeah, that's all the way around, and the rear light. The reflectors all the way around, they're from LED Auto Lamp. They sell all different sorts of stuff. Yeah, the axle kit I got, that was from Huntsman Products on eBay. They sell all different sorts of trailer stuff and everything, so check them out. And the glue I used, I just got that locally. That was the 940 FC from Soudall. Really good stuff. Used a lot of it on this build. Rivets, screws and things like that, that was just from a local bolt shop. And lastly, probably the biggest asked question I've had through the entire build, and it'll probably help you guys if you're going to do something the same. What would I do differently? Try and go in order here. Probably to begin with, I probably would have done aluminium frame. That's probably if I was to ever do this again. Aluminium frame would just be a lot easier, a lot lighter, and you'd probably just go a lot thinner. Next up, flooring. I'd probably change to that composite panel flooring. That's compressed stuff. It's like 19mm thick. Seems to be pretty good stuff. I think it's fairly well new on the market, and a lot of people are starting to use it. Would have been a lot easier than 4 different sheets of timber flooring. Next up's the composite. If I was to go composite again, I'd definitely go thinner. As you can see here, I got a scrap, and just fitting that into that molding, it is very tight inside there. And when you try and put a screw in, as I probably should have done most screws down the bottom, I just didn't want it flexing, but it's very tight trying to get a screw in. So that's why I would have went either 2mm with the composite panel and the 3mm on the H mold, or I just go the sandwich panel, which is about 20mm thick, and it's got basically like I think it's 2 bits of fiberglass or something on either side, and it's got the foam in between. So you wouldn't actually need a frame. A lot of them are just doing that now, and that's all their strength. It's good for lightweight and insulation wise, but I just think if you do run it down a ditch or something, or in a track, or hit a tree or something, then it's a lot harder to patch than this stuff. Next thing, a little tip as well that I kind of stuffed up is put some tape on all the checker and everywhere that you're going to get squeeze out. That's definitely something that I would definitely do differently if I was to go that style again. It would have made clean up a lot easier. The reason why I didn't do the checker plate is because actually down the back here I peeled off a little bit of tape, and it did take off the powder coat old mate said was, so that's why I didn't do that, and I left all the squeeze out, but now I've just got a hell of a time picking all that off. Back to the axle, I'd probably go independent suspension, just be a little bit nicer, easier ride. I probably could have put airbags on it, and then this thing would have fit down the side of the house a lot easier. I do have a video coming up of all that, of just something I threw together, but being with the eave of the house and the fence, it is so tight. I think we've got 10mm either side to get this thing down, so independent suspension would have been nice. You could air it out. That's thousands of dollars, and it would have fit straight down a lot easier. And the biggest thing I probably would have changed, which I didn't realise, was probably have gone to the Sikaflex glue instead of the Soudall. I did not realise in the end that pretty much what I was buying, I could have had double that, because the Sikaflex is double the size tube. Soudall's 300mm, I believe, and the Sikaflex is like 600 sausages. So I was buying a lot more sourdough glue than I probably needed to, and that would have saved a lot more money just going straight to Sikaflex. That's just something else. If you can get it direct, it's a lot cheaper as well. Oh yeah, I love those windows. Okay, so lastly is a price breakdown. Now, I'm going to admit I kind of stuffed up on the last video. I said $6,000. I'm slightly over that. Doing the A-frame and the chassis work, $410 worth of steel. We did go overkill on the A-frame. We went 4mm on that. A little bit overkill, so you probably could save a bit money on that. So the steel frame, the 30 by 30 tubing we used, I ordered 8 metre lengths of that. Now I spent $800 on that. I think we ordered 30 lengths of it and I only used about 15. So I've still got a lot left over. So it's about $400 for that. Yeah, the flooring sheets, they were locally, that was actually a lot cheaper than I thought. That was $450 with glue, screws, put it all on, job done. And that was I sort of worked out what I used on the membrane underneath. I didn't use the whole lot, so I only used like probably 2 cupfuls of it, and I'll probably do a couple more under there. So yeah, $450 for that. Composite panel was probably the more dearer material. That was $1,065. Now the moulding, the H moulding and the J rail and all that, and the insert rubber for the J rail was $552. So that was a little bit more expensive, but again, I've got a heap of that left over. So yeah, I did order a lot of stuff, and the composite panel, I've still got a spare sheet as well left over. Checker plate, again, I've got leftovers. That was $700 off Marketplace. Glue, rivets, all the supplies to do everything, I just threw that in as a miscellaneous. That was $480. Now windows, I'm sorry to the guy I commented to, I said $600. I don't know why I said that. I didn't look back through the receipts. That was $1,256. That's where I stuffed up on the price a little bit. But they're a fantastic window, and they actually come direct with the fly screen and the blockout blind. That was the $1,256. They come with them, with the Dometic and all that. You have to purchase that separate. Now the door was $200 off Marketplace. Again, if you can justify it, just spend the $1,200 that they are. That door was slightly out of whack, and I did have some fitting issues with it. Axle kit, again, I'm going to address that later. I'm going to get a wider axle. I just want the wheels to sit a little bit better and some wider wheels. But that was $1,000 for that. It's an electric braked axle, so everything, it's all safe. That includes the breakaway set as well up the front. So, lastly, the lights, I actually got them as a gift, but I'm going to throw the cost in there anyway. That was $157. That includes cable and everything. I had all the cable around here, so I've sort of made up the price a little bit. And the stabilizer legs, we've got one on each corner, front and back. I didn't chuck those in, but they were about, I think, $200 or something. So originally I thought $5,000. Yeah, it's a bit over that, and then that's why I said $6,000 in the last video, so I do apologise for that. Saved a lot in labour, huge amounts of labour doing it ourselves. Pretty much at the end of the day, it's not bad for basically $7,000. We've got a nice shell to roll down the road with. I'm happy to throw a mattress. Once we get some flooring in, like some vinyl flooring I'm putting in, once we get that in, I'm happy to throw a mattress in and use it. Everyone's saying about the interior fit out, I'm so keen for that, but I don't want to do something wrong. I don't want to rush. That's why the whole build has sort of taken a slow sort of run with it. I don't really want to go timber because it's going to rot, so we've got to work this out properly. I've got to work out what I want to put in it first as well. So behind you guys here, we're going to have an ensuite somewhere there. Here's going to be a small kitchen. Don't think we'll go an oven and things like that. I'm trying to keep weight down, obviously, and I'm going to have to try and work out all the cupboards and materials. I was kind of thinking maybe some aluminium. This side will be a small little dinette chair sort of thing. Whether we have the bunks turn into that out there, I was sort of thinking maybe like a seat that turns into a bed there and something that sort of folds down as another bunk, I'm not too sure. Fridge over here, depending on how big the ensuite is, a fridge somewhere there. And then as a lot of vans have, we're going to have the bed laying this way. We're going to have cupboards either side and then maybe something at the top. Again, weight conscious, I'm going to be sort of mindful of all that. And I'd like some hatches on either side from under the bed so you can slide out something like a fridge or a kitchen or something. So if you're still here by this part of the video, thank you guys for watching. Definitely give it some love if you've enjoyed the build. If you found anything useful in the price breakdown and all the materials and stuff, leave it in the comments section. Subscribe if you want to stick around as well, because 90% of you guys haven't subscribed. So pretty much I was on a real time crunch. I raced this thing through. We got registered, everything. A little bit of a backstory, my partner and I have welcomed our first child, a baby girl. Now I'm not going to show her too much on here, but basically I had planned for this was to take this thing out, use it, and wrap up the whole end of the year. I was really excited for that, but she has come a little earlier, which is fine. I'm really happy with that. And obviously life has changed a lot now. So this thing's sat here and got some cobwebs on it the last few weeks. So I haven't been able to take it out, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll do that next year. We'll get it out, we'll use it, and I'll make a few videos on it. So it's gonna be really fun. But pretty much, yeah, life's definitely changed now. And content-wise, I'm gonna try and put out as much as I can, but I need to be around her and spend as much time with her as I can. So I'm still gonna be posting as much as I can, but I do still work 38 hours a week as a day job. So this is more so a hobby and on the side. And again, as I said, it's anything with wheels on here. It's what I'm up to, what I love, you know, everything. If I get sort of bored of a project, or not so bored, but if I get sort of worn out, I want to move on to something else and then come back to it, sort of thing. So where are we at for 2025? Well, we're going to have this thing to fit out. I would honestly like to have it insulated, wired, and then just cladded for the interior wise. I don't want to rush the interior fit out. I just want to be weight conscious of everything. I don't want to just throw some aluminium cupboards in it and go down the road, because that's going to be really heavy and everything. So if anyone's got any thoughts of interior wise and things, leave it down in the comment section. Next year I do have something a lot larger coming. It's going to be a lot more work and a lot more challenging, and this may have to go to the side a little bit. Next up is the lawnmower build. So if you guys haven't seen, this is the GS500 Suzuki swapped lawnmower I've been building. I'm sorry again, it's going to get pushed to next year. I need to finish it. This thing needs to get done. It's 3 years to start of next year that I've been building this thing for. It's ridiculous. There's so much work in it. And my ideal goal was to have the Caravan done and then this at least running and driving. But again, obviously babies come when they want to come. So I just had to push this thing to the side. It's not important. This will definitely be coming here very soon. I want to see it running and driving. It's going to be super rewarding to have this thing ripping around. I just cannot wait. As you can see, there's just so much work going into it. The custom suspension, there's tube work, there's hours and hours worth of work. Some of it I've cut off and redone. I've learned a lot along the process. Airbags weren't a good idea. They're just so finicky and everything's just a pain. Using suspension off an Astra on the front was not a good idea. Camber and bump steer definitely haven't really helped at the front. So there's a lot of things I've learned. But anyway, next year it's going to be running and driving at least. We'll get it up and going and have a bit of fun on it. So that's where this project's at. Next one up, which I wasn't really going to update just yet, is the 105 Cruiser. So if you guys remember back, who have been around for a while, I got this thing for $2,000, new gearbox, did all that work to it, and I got this thing registered in about February, I think, of this year. So it's been a really good car. We've put nearly 10,000 Ks on it. Fantastic. And now the only reason why I am going to sort of pause on the Caravan and going to work on this at the start of next year is because this thing chews the fuel. So 35 litres 100 it's using. I'm not even bothering with the 1FZ that's in it. These things don't get good fuel economy. Everyone who's ever heard of these things or driven one or whatever always sort of complains about fuel economy. I can't say too much. It is what it is. I've delved in, I've tried to do as much as I can with the motor. I can't talk to it because it's too old. So pretty much we're going to diesel swap this. That's why I'm off the Caravan. I can't go around Australia and use a fully kitted out Caravan, towing it at probably 40 to 45 litres 100. It's just, I just can't justify it. And to get another vehicle is not my price range. So pretty much we're going to diesel swap this. Yes, it'll be a lot of money, probably, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm super keen to use all that and go through it all here online. Super excited for that. I'd rather pause the Caravan build and do this and then be able to use the Caravan and just throw a mattress in it with it insulated and things, than to have a fully kitted out Caravan and still strapping a Bowser on the back to go travelling. So also the swivel hub on the passenger side started weeping a little bit, so I thought I'd delve into it a bit, and I've ended up spending my Christmas holidays here. I've pulled the swivel hubs down, rebuilt those. We've got new CVs, new bearings, new caster bearings, or top and bottom knuckle bearings. We've got new brakes all the way around. Everything's getting updated on this car. It's all fresh, ready for the swap, so that's pretty good. And that's just taken up another 2 weeks out of my time. But that's just how things go, unfortunately. So that's all getting done here at the moment. I'm not going to show all this on camera because it's just boring stuff. There's plenty of good videos online of how to do it all. And yeah, so we're getting all that done, and then we'll start that motor swap next year. Quickly, the little electric mini bike that we finished off, it's a 3-wheel mini bike that we did here, little rat rod inspired bike. I've still got it, so it's just sitting here. The batteries, it's killed one of my batteries, unfortunately, so I've got to find a new, like a chainsaw battery or something for it. So that's why this has been pushed to the corner. I'm pretty well known for that. Build something, do one quick ride video, and that's it. So I've got to get out and use this thing more. So that's really just a bit of an update. So we've got the Caravan on the go. We've got the lawnmower build, which will be here finished up very soon, and now we're going to have the Cruiser next year. So 3 builds on the go. It's not too bad. The Beetle's in storage. We're not bothering with that just yet, because that's just another massive task to take down. So I'm not even going to think about that one just yet. And yeah, I'm just trying to justify my builds here. Anyway, so I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and have a really good New Year as well. Probably won't be posting anymore for the rest of this year, so I will see you guys in the new year. Also, I do have merchandise. You guys can pick up your very own merch, engineer to design merch. There's going to be some new stuff coming next year. Once the mower's done, I'm going to do a little bit of a new design, so that's going to be really cool. If anyone does do sort of designs like this, nice and simple, leave me a comment down below or send us an email. Maybe someone can draw up the lawnmower. And for everyone who has supported the channel, new or old, you've been here from day dot or you've just found us, thank you guys for all the love and support. I appreciate everything. You really inspire me to continue going and pushing harder and harder build. I'll catch you in the new year. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.